You know, we spent so much of our lives thinking about how to manage our attention, how to focus it, save it, spend it. But what if we thought about it differently? Not as some resource to be optimized, but as a fundamental way of being in the world. So this explainer, it's an invitation to do just that, to stand right at the edge of our own looking.
And this right here, this is our jumping off point. The goal isn't about memorizing some new piece of information. It's about a shift in the texture of your perception. The source material describes it like the feeling of standing in a doorway. You're not quite in either room, but you're in a space that is its own place. It's that subtle shift from just seeing the world to suddenly becoming aware of the seeing itself.
All right, so to start digging into this, our first stop is something we do constantly, something that's both an incredible gift and, in a really subtle way, a kind of violence. We're going to take a look at the simple act of naming things. And this reveals a really fundamental trade-off, right? When we say the word tree, we can communicate a whole idea. That's the gift. But in doing that, we actually reduce the specific living reality of that particular tree into just a general concept. We lose the wound from the nail, the unique way its bark peels. And this matters because, let's be honest, we don't just do this to trees. We do it to people, to situations, to ourselves. We slap on a label and risk missing the living, breathing reality that's right underneath. The source material tells this great little story that it gets right to the heart of this. It starts super simply. Imagine a market. A woman is selling apricots. A boy buys one. He takes a bite.
And this is the magic moment. The boy doesn't just say it tastes like an apricot. No, he finds a bigger word, summer, to hold the feeling, the memory, the entire experience packed into that single bite. The name he gives it holds so much more than just the object itself.
So, the takeaway here is that language is both. It's the violence of reducing a specific fruit to the general word apricot, but it's also the gift of creating a shared world of meaning where a taste can actually become summer. It's this complex act that both flattens reality and creates it at the same time. Okay, let's shift gears a little and build on that. We've looked at what happens when our attention names things. So what happens when it has nothing to name at all? We're going to reframe that really uncomfortable feeling we all know so well, boredom.
I mean, we are absolute masters of escape, aren't we? The second that familiar unease hits, a hand finds a phone, a page refreshes. But what exactly are we running from? What is that specific feeling when there's no next task, no next piece of content to consume?
So here's a really powerful way to reframe this. Boredom isn't emptiness. It's kind of the opposite. It's attention that's so full, so present, that it has no object to latch onto. It is your attention meeting itself, raw, after all our usual distractions have finally paused. What we call boredom is really just the feeling of our own awareness, completely unshielded.
And it's in that space, that state of being bereft, that something really important can happen. It's like a clearing in a forest. When the altar is cleared of all its usual offerings and distractions, we can finally see what was underneath them all along. The boredom we're so quick to run from, it was actually a gate, inviting us to see what lies beneath.
And this all leads us to what's really the ethical heart of this whole idea. If our attention is this powerful, if it can name entire worlds into being and reveal what's hidden beneath them, then how should we be using it? Well, the proposal here is to stop treating it like a commodity and start treating it as an act of care.
I mean, you can frame it in so many ways. Is it just a resource, something to be mined and sold by algorithms? Is it a sacred prayer? Is it as unconscious as breathing? The source asks us to choose a different frame, one that comes with real responsibility, attention as care. Because where you place your attention genuinely affects the world. A child who is seen with care becomes a totally different person than one who is not.
So what does this actually look like today? Well, in our world, the algorithm offers you more of what you pause on. Your attention is literally training your future. So the practice becomes this. First, just become aware of what your attention is feeding. Second, don't keep lingering on the cruelty and outrage that consumes you. And third, don't just scroll past those small moments of tenderness and beauty that can actually sustain you.
All right, for our final stop, we're landing on a really powerful and honestly a pretty challenging idea. After we've looked at naming and boredom and care, what posture should we take toward the world? The answer isn't more knowledge, but a discipline of unknowing.
Okay, so it's absolutely crucial we get this distinction right. Ignorance is passive. It's a gap we don't even know exists, a kind of neglect. But unknowing, that's an active, humble posture. It's what's left after you have looked as hard as you possibly can and then have the courage to admit that the world is bigger than your explanation of it.
This frame? Well, it suggests a totally different goal for us, doesn't it? Maybe wisdom isn't about eliminating all the darkness and uncertainty with the floodlights of facts. Maybe it's about developing the grace and the care to navigate that darkness, to move through what we don't understand without causing harm to ourselves or to others.
And so, I want to leave you with this question to carry with you. What would your day look like if you moved through it as if the most important thing wasn't to know everything, but simply to remain oriented, responsive, and kind in the presence of what you cannot? What changes when saying, "I don't know," isn't a failure, but the beginning of a much more precise and honest kind of care?